Welcome to the Startup Espresso. I'm Hall T. Martin, the host of the show, where we talk about raising funding for your startup and the time it takes to have an espresso. I hope you enjoy this episode. Hello, this is Hall T. Martin with the Startup Funding Espresso, your daily shot at startup funding and investing. In developing the brand for your startup, avoid these common mistakes. Spending too much on an agency. Most of the work comes from you, your team, and a graphic design professional. Take ownership of your brand building and outsource key elements of the project, such as logo design. Designing a logo that looks cool but is hard to read. Choose a logo design that remains legible in small formats such as email footers and browser tabs. Creating a brand identity based on this year's strategic goals. Goals change every year, so focusing on one year's goals can leave your brand out of date. Build a brand based on your overall business strategy, which will last for several years. Failing to maintain the promise of the brand. You must deliver on that promise consistently. Failing to communicate your message. Avoid obtuse wording and strained analogies, and make sure the majority of your audience understands it. Missing the why. Make sure you include in your message why your business exists. Avoid these mistakes in your branding efforts. Thank you for joining us for the Startup Funding Espresso, where we help startups and investors connect for funding. Let's go start listening to today. Hall T. Martin is the director of Investor Connect, which is a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to the education of investors for early-stage funding. All opinions expressed by Hall and podcast guests are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinion of Investor Connect. This podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon as a basis for investment decisions.